Jason, Laura, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'd imagine that you've been going around keeping this secret for a long time. Is that the case?
Yeah, it's been like about 3 weeks, I think,
Yeah,
that's
about
it,
3
that
weeks,
we've known
yeah.
for. Yeah. I mean, we obviously told our families, but they knew that they couldn't tell anyone else. So, yeah, teammates, anyone, coaches that we work with don't actually know.
And how did you find out?
Well, you get sent an email, don't you? And you were supposed to reply to this email, but neither of us actually replied to said email.
Why, because you didn't see it, or?
We got confused with the date because I got a parking ticket, didn't I, at the same time? And I had to pay the parking ticket before the 14th, and we thought it was the...
Yeah, the response date.
So I got a bit confused with our dates. So
And we
anyway,
needed-
yeah, so we had a phone call.
Yeah, because we needed paper, so we generally couldn't print it off to sign it, to say, yeah, we accept. So we got a phone call, well, you got a phone call.
I got a phone call, yeah. And it was a funny phone call, like the lady on the other end. It was very nice, said, we have to... If you could let us know before the weekend, because we have to tell the Prime Minister and the Queen. I was like, well, it's best not to keep them waiting, isn't it?
You have kept them waiting. So your parking ticket took priority over the honours, so...
I didn't pay that on time either, I don't think, so I had to pay extra for that.
But what does it actually mean to you to be a Sir and a Dame?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I wasn't stupidly excited when I read the email. I mean, every time we step on the track, it's to try and win a medal. Any other sort of accolade, you never, I guess, strive to get. But when you do get it, it just shows that people are appreciating the hard work you are putting in on the track. And it's just, it just feels incredible to be recognised for that. And I mean, I just love the royal family. And so, like, when I opened it, because we weren't together, were we? I was just like, because you just never in like your childhood dreams think you're going to be a Dame or a Sir.
How does Sir Jason sound?
It's very surreal, yeah. It's not something like Laura said, you never imagine, you enter a race and things and you always imagine you can win it, but this is something that you never sort of imagine, yourself sort of being, so yeah, it's just very special, very surreal, it doesn't feel real.
You're obviously aware of what the British public think of you and how high they hold you in esteem. So I guess this perhaps couldn't have been that much of a surprise. I know it's been speculated about ever since Tokyo finished.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't a surprise as such in one way, but then you also think, no, like, we only ride bikes. Like, there's people out there that do bigger things, like fighting for our country than we do. So I guess, it wasn't a surprise because people talk about it, but then on the flip side, you never believe that you're actually going to get it either.
No, as much as people talk about it, it's funny when you get the letter. It was very odd because you got yours first. Like you say, I was away working, and then you got your letter, didn't you? And I was like flicking through my emails on my phone, and I was like, so yeah, it was very strange. You get the email, and it's just funny, and it's so excited. It's like, as much as people talk about it, but when that email lands, it all of a sudden got real,
Well, thank goodness it's avoided any potential awkwardness at home that you both. You become a Sir, you become a Dame. That could have been a bit tricky at home, couldn't it, if it was only one of you?
I mean, although when Jason becomes Sir, I become Lady, so I could have taken Lady. But I would prefer, if it was Lady Laura, then that would be fine. That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But it's Lady Kenny or Dame Laura, so I think Dame Laura.
Are you going to look at Laura with a new level of respect, doffing your cap in the home?
I don't think I could have any more respect for Laura.
And you to have a night in the home?
Yeah, I mean, do I respect you, Jason? Don't answer that.
I think that was your cue to say something nice back then.
It is amazing, isn't it, how sport, we know we love our sport, but knowing how difficult it was for the Tokyo Olympics to happen, the postponement, then they happened, and how we took all those events to our heart, we were living all those sports. Perhaps some of it was to do with the fact that we'd been in lockdown and we needed something to celebrate. Were you aware of how much people back at home were watching every second of what was going on in Tokyo and desperately willing, you guys to do well, to give us some reason to rejoice after what has been an incredibly difficult couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, when we were in lockdown the first time, I think everyone realised how much they need sport. I mean, even for us, not being able to see anything like the Tour de France on TV, there was nothing, was there? And I think everyone really missed it. And so I think having that build-up to an event, that's why people really got behind us. I mean, when we were in Tokyo, it was funny, wasn't it? Because we were still sort of locked down. Like, it was very much, you could have Japanese fans, but that was all that was out there. So you didn't really know the effect until you came home, and then you could really appreciate, like the effect, or the way people, I guess, really grouped together to get behind us.
The whole team did astonishingly well. There perhaps, we don't know, will be others that will be similarly honoured. I mean, I don't know whether you know of any others. You're probably not allowed to tell me. But, you know, that's a mark of how much sport has meant to us in this past year, and how much your many Olympics and what you've achieved has meant to us as well, because we've been totting up the medals as you have.
Yeah, I think we've become a really sort of sporting nation, haven't we? You know, and I'm really sort of proud and sort of happy that we could be part of that journey, really, with the UK Sport Funding and things like that, which has obviously given us lots of opportunities and absolutely rocketed us up to the medal table at the Olympics, and hopefully we can keep building on that. And we're starting to see the effects trickle down now. We've got tons of velodromes around the country, which is obviously amazing, and we're starting to see sort of the grassroots stuff really taking off, and we're seeing it in other sports as well. Swimming's obviously coming on really strong. Football team obviously almost went all the way in the Euros, and we've got some of the best racing drivers in the world as well, and all the other sports. Yeah, I think, you know, for our size, we punch well above our weight as a country, and yeah, like I said, we're really proud to sort of be part of that.
It must be enormously gratifying for that to be part of your legacy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, just the way, even for us as well, coming through British cycling, and like seeing them start from pretty low down in the middle table to just seeing us grow and grow and grow, and that to me is why we're sort of here, you know, because without that support, and it is, like Jason says, UK sport was obviously a massive part of that, but for me, I wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for the help of so many people, but British cycling have just been such a massive part of that.
So 12 gold medals between you. These extra medals you're receiving, where do they stand in the grand scheme of things?
They're very special, aren't they? I think. You know, obviously you don't want to compare the two. You don't want to upset anyone, but they're very special. I think it's magic, isn't it? You know, and the whole sort of process. Obviously, we've been lucky, been to the Palace before, and yeah, it's a very surreal experience, and it's very special. And we're very proud of going and kind of going through that.
Do you keep your collection together? Is it in a special glass case, or hanging in the loo somewhere, all your medals, and now these 2 extra gongs?
We have got some of the medals together, haven't we? Yeah. I mean, it's funny actually, because the other day I said to my mum, I was like, Mum, you must have my OBE, because we were living at home, and she's like, yes, I kept it, and I was like, for you, because we stare at the CBE. I'm like, you definitely have it. So yeah, my mum's kept hold of that one. She's got one.
And do you think Albie knows anything at all about what Mum and Dad have achieved and the medals you're about to get? That he's got a sir and a lady in the house?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he understands now what work is. Like, he's really starting to get that. Because obviously when we go and ride our bikes, we say we're going to work. And because he said to me the other day, you don't work, Mummy, you just ride round in circles. And I'm like, I mean, yes, we do ride round in circles, Albie.
From the mouths of babes.
But, and he understands, so like if we go in the gym, he will say, oh, you're just going in the garage, because we have a gym. So he understands the kind of the training side of it, but apart from that, he just doesn't really, he doesn't get it. He liked the medals though, didn't he? He liked seeing the medals.
He liked that, wasn't he? Really
It'll be astonishing if he were to choose to go into your sport by the time he gets into his teens and really starts competing, how much more different the world of sport in Britain will be, as you say, because if that investment continues and people start coming through, it's going to continue to be a golden era.
Yeah, he's obviously very young at the minute, and we take him to sports already, don't we? And it's really impressive, you know, the spread of sports we can take him to. We've taken him to rugby, football, swimming, and there's tennis, talks and things like that, isn't there? There's lots of different things you can take him to as a little one. And yeah, hopefully that'll continue and continue to grow, and hope, you know, maybe he'll find a sport that he loves and he'll see it all the way through.
But the important message, isn't it, as we've been sitting in lockdown, is the need for us to get out and to be active in doing whatever. You're elite sports people, but we can all do a little bit, and my goodness, we've had to do it over the past 2 years just to keep our health mentally and physically, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, when we first had Albie, it seemed like, as a mum, I felt like I was consumed by the fact, you know, I was at home with him and I was feeding him, and the one thing that made me feel normal was just going into the gym and having 45 minutes for just me time, because I mean, I would blare music out, like I'd have it at full blast and just trying to do a little bit of exercise, but it was just the thoughts in my head then, like I was having that time out that I felt like I really needed, and it made me feel normal, which then when I came back into the house just made me a better person. And I think whether that be us as sporting people or whether that be people in their everyday life, I do think that it's really important that you have that time to yourself.
The next few years, Paris approaching, any thoughts on competing again? Have you had any?
Well, you know, everyone asks that question, don't they? So we honestly don't have an answer. You know, we're saying at the start, we just always try and always answer honestly as possible. You know, when people ask in interviews any question really, and they just don't have an answer. It's such a long way away. I mean, I know it's only 2.5 years or so, but in the world of sport, you know, it moves quite quickly, and yeah. So I think, you know, if we're in the team, I guess if we, you know, at the minute we're starting to build back up into a bit of volume and a bit of training, and I guess if that leads to us being good and being back in the team, then we could find ourselves sort of in the team there, and then we'd carry on. But for me personally, I don't know, it seems such a long way from where I am now personally.
I think it's tricky because you step back and you have the time away, and then I think from the outside world people think, oh, because they've done it before then they just get selected, but we have to go through like the whole selection criteria. So you basically, once you've had your break, are starting from scratch. And so it's the people underneath that you've almost got to hope don't get that much better so that you still stay in the team. So we do still have to go through the same process everyone else would have to go through. So like Jason says, if we get selected, then yeah, we'll probably go. But if we don't, then you won't see us there.
It's still really nice, isn't it, to be people look at you, you know, as the elder statespeople of the sport, but do you know what I mean? To have a younger generation looking up to you and aspiring to be you, that must be an amazing feeling.
It is, it's special, isn't it? Yeah, and yeah, it is nice, you know, and obviously we've got such a strong kind of feeder team now coming through, and yeah, it pushes you on, you know, having that pressure underneath and having that pressure of sort of being in a spot that obviously someone wants is a really kind of privileged place to be, really, and I think we're lucky we've been there for such a long time now. And it really sort of helps to bring the best out of you, which is part of the whole British cycling system, which is why we've got so many, you know, we've got so many people on the squad, because it sort of pushes everyone on and to be better.
Just finally, looking forward to your visit to the palace. Are you looking forward to that? Have you been thinking about that? Which palace? Which royal?
I mean, it's whether we're going to get it on the same day as well. Yeah, because we might do or we might not do. We got our CVs together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Obviously we don't decide, so you just get invited along. But I am incredibly excited, yeah. I'm just not even going to pretend that I'm not, because I do. I just love the royal family, and I love the fact that the palace is just, well, to me, Britain. It is, like, in a word.
we think that you are the first couple to get this honour together. That's quite historic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You know, I don't know, really. It's nice, you know, we're lucky. I think when we go to the Olympics, there's not many people go to the Olympics as couples, is there?
No.
And we're lucky we get to share that, you know, because obviously the village is very closed off from the rest of the world, particularly now, obviously, with COVID this last time it was. So, yeah, you know, we're very lucky we get to share our careers together anyway, and so, yeah, to get to share honours, I suppose, is very, very special, even more special. You're
going to be extra grand at home from now on.
I don't think we could be grand, could we, Jace?
I'll speak for yourself. Do my best.
Lovely, thank you very much.